Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.
You did it first.
Show me some.
I'm the one that always does it, Miranda. I'm always the one that says, "Good day, madam."
Good day, sir.
But you did it like in such a lethargic way.
I did not. That was undercover brother styles right there.
Okay, all right.
You can't just always be up at that level 10. Sometimes you got to like get up there, right? Like a plane taking off.
Sometimes you got to ramp it up. All right, so I want to do a quick redo with you opening. I'm okay with you starting it off.
Okay. Good day, sir.
Yes. Good day, madam. So we got our sweatshirt on, our Don't Suck at Sales gear. Do you know how many people reached out to me about the Don't Suck at Sales gear? It was really cool.
Right.
So many people, actually. I don't want to start naming names, and some people be like, well, why didn't you say me? But go check out our website. And our website is actually being revamped right now, isn't it, Miranda? It's in the works. Miranda's excited about that. Miranda is very, I wouldn't call you tech savvy. I'd call you tech aware. Very tech aware. And she thinks that we need easier access to our merch gear because we have people reaching out saying, where's it?
Where's the link? It's right now. It's at the top of the page. You'll see a pink banner.
Don't suck at sales.com. Go right to the top.
It'll be easier to find on our new revamp. Yes.
That's right.
So here's what
crazy,
happened.
Miranda. It's crazy. Really quick, I got to talk about the glasses. You have purple on today, and it almost shades everything else a little purple with you.
Ooh.
So I dig it. But then your sign was purple too, as I said that. All right, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Manic color scheme here. Listen, I was at the store with my boyfriend the other day. We were looking at Christmas decorations. And as you guys know, if you're following me on Facebook, we decorate a tree for every holiday. And like we've gone all out almost every holiday this year. Anyway, so he saw this giant, I think it was Santa Claus, like 3-4 foot Santa Claus. He's like, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to bring Miranda back to look at it. And he wanted it. And then we showed up at the store and guess what?
Gone.
It wasn't there. And do you know how much more he wanted this Santa Claus now that he couldn't get it? Right. And I was like, okay, so now we're going to like every single store. I think it was like Burlington Coat Factory or something. It was something. We're going to every single one from here to Timbuktu looking for this 4-foot Santa Claus, and we can't find it. And it made me remember, like, there's been times when I wanted something and I'm like, I don't know. And then I saw someone like kind of reach towards it, and all of a sudden I'm like, they better not pick that thing up. And now I go over and I get it just because I knew that like someone else wanted it, right? And so, John, about what we're going to talk about today, I think that like, obviously what we need, everyone needs, right? Because are everyone going to die in the future? Yes, right? 9 out of 10 people are not in a good spot. If they die, they're either going to lose their home or the family's going to be in a bad spot. So I know that you're the master of this, like creating urgency, but I think it's so important because the takeaway is really the number one. I was taught this early on, is like the number one thing that we have to use in the sales process, right? So I think that's just like a never ending mission to get better at how do we create urgency? Because if we don't do a good job now, when are these guys really going to realize they need it?
Yeah,
that's too late, right? So
it was a perfect segue too. Like it was a great analogy with this story that had just happened. Because I think that that's exactly what I do. First and foremost, Miranda, you had said that like the takeaway is one of the things that we can do to create urgency. And it's insane to me how many people don't use the takeaway, right? I'm absolutely like blown away by that. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, we have like way back in our podcast, we have like episode 4 or 5. It's like the great takeaway or whatever it was called. But I think what I'm going to talk about today in creating urgency is like, I don't know if I've ever really even done this, Miranda. Like I've never even really kind of talked about it openly just because I felt like it's a little bit more of a maybe expertise kind of thing and not so much more as like just a generalized thing that we can do, right? Like what we always try to do is we just try to make the things that we talk about extremely transferable. So that way everyone can kind of do this. So I hope within how I'm talking about creating of the urgency, it can correlate to the majority and not the minority. But either way, I think we do this because just as long as it helps one person, that's what makes us feel really good. And so I love the way that you told that story, because it's exactly what I do, buddy. You talked about going to so many different stores until you found what you wanted, right? And that's exactly what I do with these clients. I talk about so many different things until I go down so many different paths until I find what I want. What I want is a response from them that is very highly agreeable. And then that's what kind of is my trigger. That's my purchase. I know now that they're bought in, so I'm buying in on that concept. And then I'm going to kind of use that at the end to my advantage to create urgency. So I'm going to talk about just kind of a few different spots throughout a presentation in where I create urgency. Obviously, in the role and purpose, we let them know that we're going to be filling out an application today, and that it's really not up to them, that it's more up to the insurance companies, because when we submit the application, there are 4 different ways that the policy can come back. It can come back issued as applied, and that's our goal, right? So the way that we submit it, at the price point, at the coverage amount, everything, that's the way it comes back approved. It could come back below standard, which means that, hey, for this amount of coverage, your price isn't going to be this low, it's actually going to be higher. Or the carrier can come back and say, hey, you know what? Great news. You are well above standard. So for this amount of coverage, instead of it being at this price, it's actually going to be lower. Or the carrier can come back and say, look, we appreciate you applying toward our organization. We're just not the right fit for you. We are not going to give you the coverage at this time. And if that's the case, we're going to go to a plan B. Just so you know, we are not in control of this. The insurance companies are, because they're the ones putting up these several thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in their case. Does that make sense to you, Miranda? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And John,
and then I'm going to role play that, right? And I'm going to say, Miranda, do you have any questions in regards to what I just explained to you? I'm looking for them to respond or react. Go ahead, Miranda.
So what he just said there about, to see if you're approved, I recorded a digital life lead presentation that I did, and I said that. I knew I said that a lot, but I said it over 10 times in the first, I think it was 4 or 5 minutes of the presentation, assuming you're approved. If the carrier said yes, I knew I said it a lot, but when I got back into trying to figure out how to do digital leads, that was it. My presentation was a takeaway. I just kept saying that over and over again. So if that's all you take from this, you're gonna win with that for sure.
No doubt. No doubt. So I'm looking for a response, right, buddy? Like, I'm looking for them to be like, well, why? Hold on. Why is it up to them? How come, no, this is up to me. I get right. I want to see some sort of reaction. No, it's okay. No big deal. And then move on. But I want to see what their triggering point is. If they trigger a response like, well, that kind of sucks. So you're telling me that even if I apply for it, I might not get approved. That's what I want to hear. Okay. Another way that I like to kind of create urgency is as I'm kind of going through verifying their information, I'll say, and Miranda, this actually just happened, bud. I was sitting with a fan because I just recently kind of jumped back out in the field so we can do this on our podcast, so we can kind of help out people in our base shop and help out people in our organization. Anyway, so just recently kind of jumped back out there and started helping families. And what I realized is that I do this organically without really even explaining that I do it. So anyway, so this, I want to say it was 12/19. So the birth date, I believe, was 12/19/1957. I want to say. So
it was in 2 weeks from now, the birthday, basically.
Correct. Yeah, the birthday's in 2 weeks from now. And so the client, as soon as I said, okay, so just to verify your date of birth, it's 12/19/1957. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect timing. You're at what, 65 right now? Yeah. holy cow. And then, so that means on 12/19, you turn 66. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, the stars must have aligned or whatever, higher power. Like, this is cool that we're right in front of each other right now, because I can't explain to you how drastically things change between 65 and 66. 65 is a milestone. Everyone knows that. The difference in pricing between 65 and 66 over a long period of time is quite drastic. I'll kind of get into that here in just a minute. But that also gives us enough time for when we do submit that application to try and get you approved before your birthday. So again, super grateful we caught you right at this time.
Yeah.
What am I doing there? I'm planting a seed right here, right now, to create them to hurry up and do this application so we can get it done before their birthday.
One thing I like saying too when I'm talking about birthdays is I took out policies on my kids when they were 3 and 5, and the 3-year-old got a much better deal than the 5-year-old, which is crazy. Even as like little kids, you know, having a birthday made all the difference in the world. I think one of them, for the exact same price, had like, I think it was just a small policy, like $50,000 in coverage. The other one had $80,000 in coverage. Same price, 2 years apart, as babies.
Yeah, exactly. Again, and like, you guys, we can even use half birthdays to do this too. Because Miranda, how many times do these insurance carriers go closer to the age of? Closer to the age of. Another policy that I actually sold yesterday, I did pretty good yesterday, buddy. Another policy that I sold yesterday, it was like 1/6, like January 6th would have been closer to the age of like 57 as opposed to 56. And I did the exact same thing. I'm like, holy cow, your half birthday is literally like 36 days away. So here's something really cool. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm in front of you today, because when we submit this application, we'll hopefully find out before January 6th whether you're approved or declined. And then that way we can lock you in at the 56-year-old price and not have to worry about the 57-year-old price.
And John, there's no guarantee that the prices are also not going to change. I remember pricing out a client, and we did not move forward with the application. And then they called back like a month or two later, and I reran the quote, and it had gone up even at the actual birthday. You know, so I love what you're saying. It's like half birthdays for sure. In addition to that, there's no guarantee at all. You know,
it's so true, and it's like, you could do the math for them really quick too. It's like, it's crazy. Like, let me actually even just show you this. So I know that we just talked about your price being, you know, $102 a month. Well, at, you know, the difference between 56 and 57, it's now $108 a month. What's insane is that's $6 a month. It doesn't sound like a lot, but let me do some math for you really quick. $6 a month times 12 months, that's $72. $72 a year over 10 years, that's $720. Over 2 years, that's almost $1,500. Why throw away $1,500 if you don't have to? Agreed? Agreed, right? So again, I'm looking for ways to plant seeds in their brain to create urgency for them to do it today. Another one that you can easily do is, like, if they already have a pre-existing policy, Miranda, if they have a pre-existing policy and you know that we're replacing it, what do we do there? Hey, I don't care if it's a week after their payment was already made, find that out. Like, when, all right, so when did you make your last payment? And they'll say, oh, made it on the 20th of last month. Holy cow, perfect timing, right? Or if their payment's due in a week, holy cow, perfect timing, right? Or if they even just made their payment, holy cow, perfect timing.
yeah, because you want to get it issued before, so they're not before their next payment, right? So
exactly. Yeah. So we can turn around and hurry up and get this approved before your next payment. So no matter what they say, holy cow, right?
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Holy cow, perfect timing. That is always your response to it. And then, you know, another one that we have, and we're coming up at the top of our time here, but another one that I've done is I've always done a really good job at, like, planting seeds, right? And that's what we're talking about right now. I was actually just doing this the other day. The guy told me, he's like, man, he's like, you know what? We got the holidays coming up. We got this, we got that. And I'm like, listen, man, it's going to take us a little bit to kind of get this thing approved. And you know what? Actually, a guy had just told me yesterday. He said, I really want to do this because I want to put it in a card for my wife. and saying, look, I got our mortgage taken care of, or I got my income taken care of, that if God forbid something happens to me, our family's set. And I was told that insurance is life's last love letter. And I just want to show you how much I love you. Merry Christmas. Boom. And it's like, and like he shared that with me, and I'm like, that's so cool. I'm going to tell everyone that, because it is life's last love letter. So it'd be something that you could something really cool that you could do for your wife, or something really cool that you could do for your primary beneficiary, whoever that would be, kid.
Yeah. And just to tee up what he said again, just to underline it, it's always good to tell it in like a third party story. So you could say what John just did and say, listen, what we're hearing this time of year so much is people, you know, giving away life insurance policies as gifts, right? And writing down like in the card, like, this is, you know, what did you call it? Last love letter.
The 4 L's, life's last love letter.
I love it.
Boom.
And like saying, hey, this is what people are doing. And all of a sudden they're going to go, hey, that's a great idea. Right. I can't, you know, so.
It's not going to be your only gift, but it's going to be a part of the gift. And people seem to love that idea. So Miranda, if they don't want to suck at sales, what should they do?
They got to keep on listening. And we want to see those likes, right? Yeah. Like this episode, write down your favorite comment if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And keep on listening, man.
Go over YouTube. Keep them coming. Keep those comments coming on YouTube too. I like interacting with people, Mer. So thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.